Truth is, I thought it mattered. I thought that
money
mattered. But does it bollocks? Not compared to how people matter.
Welcome, Mention and other fine folks, to the Sunday Dispatch of the Black Letter, where we contemplate thoughts worth thinking as we try to navigate through the upside-down, topsy-turvy world we find ourselves in, seeking greener pastures on the other side, hopefully coming out healthier, wealthier, and wiser. Welcome to the end of your weekend. It's Sunday. We're going to talk about cryptocurrencies, as we usually do on the weekend, trying to catch up with where things are at. We're also going to take a look at cryptocurrencies generally, and more specifically Bitcoin, and touch on XRP here. So first up is XRP heading to $2. First up is XRP heading to $2. Crypto analyst traces path ahead for fourth largest cryptocurrency. Michael van der Pop, which is somebody we've heard about before, tells his 85,000 followers on Twitter that XRP has a long road ahead before it can come close to $2, which some analysts have predicted could happen in the next extended bull cycle. And I think that's probably a potential. I think we're just in the very early innings, though, of this bull cycle. What you want to see and what you often see with XRP is a sharp run-up and correction, sharp run-up correction. That's why I'm getting a little bit cautious on the moves of XRP at this point. You generally want to see that it regains the previous support. So this is what he's suggesting, how it runs up and comes down, runs up, comes down, corrects. So he's expecting it to go like this or something like that. Anyway, it's just all based on technical analysis. The next upwards run will probably take XRP towards the next resistance zone to 55 cents or 65 cents, which is around about here. I think this is about 56 cents or so. Anyway, interesting article. XRP, as we've noticed over the last week, has started increasing a little bit in value. We'll see if it can maintain that, or if XRP is going to be one of those that end up as vapor coins. 10 billionaires could triple the price of Bitcoin, says MicroStrategy's Michael Saylor. We know about Michael Saylor. He's put in, I think, 450 billion, 500 billion into cryptocurrency from his business, as well as another 100 or 200 million dollars of his own money, I believe. I should say 500 million, excuse me, not billion. There are people that'll put 500 million into a bad idea. If you've got 100 billion in your portfolio, you might bet 500 million expecting you'll get 100 to 1 return 1% of the time or 5% of the time and think that's a good idea. So I think that's why everything's accelerating. It's a fire, it's a campfire, then it's a bonfire, then it's a forest fire. Then you're like, I don't get it. Why is the fire spreading twice as fast? Well, because this is an exponential process. It's important that 100 million people embrace Bitcoin, but there are 10 people that can triple the price of Bitcoin. 10. This is not like Facebook. Nobody ever brought 1 billion friends to Facebook. This is like when a person with 10 billion decides that they want to adopt this network and they put 2 or 3 billion on the network. There's going to be more monetary energy that flowed into the network than the first 10 million people put into the network. It's a 10 million to 1 game. Of course, Michael Saylor over here has been a huge proponent ever since he got into Bitcoin. He's done extremely well with his money. He's probably, I don't want to say he's doubled it already, but he's probably made 50% in the last just a handful of months. Obviously very forward-thinking. And of course, I think he's becoming a huge proponent and fan of Bitcoin generally. And I think he's sort of definitely moving the needle for us in this space. And it's probably only a matter of time before we see more companies starting to put a portion of their, reserve funds into something like Bitcoin. Visa CEO says payments giant is implementing a long-term crypto strategy. So here we see everyone's starting to slowly get on board now, I think. And this is probably just going to increase. Crypto is a developing part of payments in the world. It's in a very nascent state right now, as we know. We are very interested in cryptocurrencies. We're not as interested in crypto that is more of a commodity-based play. We're interested in crypto that ultimately becomes fiat-based. And obviously the best example of that is Bitcoin, which once it becomes at a certain level, maybe once it's worth $1 million or so, becomes more stable and the volatility decreases substantially. So it becomes more like a currency at that point. I think at this stage, we're going through a period where Bitcoin is obviously more of a speculative asset, but as it gains in momentum and people climbing on board, I think volatility will start to go down and eventually it'll reach a price where it'll be more stable. We're a long way from that, of course, I think probably 5 to 10 years. So there's a clear understanding of the value when there's an exchange of crypto for the purchase of a good or service. We're facilitating putting a Visa credential into their system where you can convert your crypto based on a fiat currency and put the funds in a wallet where you can use them at anywhere Visa is accepted. It's a way of making those funds valuable and usable across our network. So we're really talking about working with 25 crypto firms already. So it's going to be very interesting. I think there's lots of good bullish news coming out of crypto space. This next 10 years, this decade I think is going to be instrumental in cementing Bitcoin as a alternative store of value, if not an alternative sort of international currency, if you will. South Africa unveils new crypto rules as usage soars exponentially. I think more and more countries are going to get on board regulating crypto. The South African financial regulator has published a draft declaration of crypto assets as financial products. The regulator says South Africa has experienced an exponential increase in the provision and use of crypto assets. The new rules apply to cryptocurrency service providers, including crypto exchanges, advisors, and brokers. They will have to register with the FSCA as financial service providers, the FSCA detailed. The financial regulator clarified the draft declaration in no way impacts the status of crypto assets in the context of other laws, nor does it attempt to regulate, legitimize, or give credence to crypto assets. The draft declaration is merely intended to be an interim step in mitigating certain immediate risks in the crypto asset environment. Pending the outcome of broader developments currently taking place through the Crypto Assets Regulatory Working Group, which will inform future policy interventions to be implemented across a variety of regulators and laws, the FSCA described. So we'll have to see where that goes. Currently, they're just looking at regulating it, which is good. It doesn't sound like they're thinking of banning or trying to make it harder for people to use. So we'll see what happens, but I hope that continues that way. PayPal bought 70% of all newly mined Bitcoin last month as demand rockets, and I think this is one of the big reasons why Bitcoin's price is escalating and probably will for at least the short-term future. PayPal bought up to 70% of all the newly mined Bitcoin since the payments giant started offering cryptocurrency services 4 weeks ago. And of course, you know that I'm not a fan of using PayPal for cryptocurrency purchases because you can't send it to your own wallet. And if it's not your keys, you don't own it, right? So not your keys, not your coin. However, it does make it more widely available for people if you wanted to buy some cryptocurrency quickly and then in the next several minutes use that to purchase something through PayPal. I suppose that's a use case. Now, that's according to estimates by hedge fund manager Pantera Capital, as revealed in its latest monthly blockchain letter. Together with Square's Cash App, the two companies are buying more than 100% of all newly issued Virgin Bitcoin, it says. So there you go, folks. And here you can see implied PayPal Bitcoin purchases via ItBit volume. Here's the daily volume. This is the PayPal average plus a 7-day moving average. And then this is a projection. So we'll see what happens. But interesting, this could be a huge reason for the move. And it could also be, even if it's not 100% between the two of them, I think it's probably closer to 70-80% at least. Okay, so Sunday, we also have earnings coming up this next week. As you can see, it's starting to lighten up a little bit now as I think third quarter earnings come to an end for most of the bigger and most important companies. So here we have Monday, Tuesday being busy, and then moves to a trickle on Wednesday and Thursday and nothing happening on Friday. But on Monday, we have a whole bunch here. Many of these companies are not sort of well known to me, but we do have Warner Brothers, I guess. And then on Tuesday, of course, Best Buy, Autodesk, Nordstrom, Dick's, Dollar Tree, Dell, Gap, HP, American Eagle. So a whole bunch here. Burlington, of course, Hormel Foods, J.M. Smucker and Company, and then John Deere and others on Wednesday, and a couple of Chinese earnings reports on Thursday. All right, and so here's the cryptocurrency coin market taking a bit of a breather after a huge run-up over the past week or so, down 0.5%, market cap at $545 million, 5,968 or so coins for you to ignore. Bitcoin taking a breather as some of the others catch up. Ethereum up 2.1%, now at $551, and Bitcoin down minus 1.2%, now at $18,479, so still very bullish. XRP up substantially, 8.9% the last 24 hours and almost 70% in the last 7 days, now sitting at 45 cents. Interesting. Most of the others are down. Cardano is up also at 6.3% and 31% on the week. And even Bitcoin up 14.9% on the weekend, Ethereum at 19.3%. So starting to see a bit of a bullish move. We'll see if this isn't a bit of a pause now and consolidation for a while before a further run up around Christmas. We'll have to wait and see. If you've been in the space for a little while, there's been talk that perhaps one central bank or government agency in the world, maybe a smaller government, a smaller country that's having some currency issues might start ending up buying Bitcoin for their central bank to help back their currency. So that's something that's being talked about. I could see it as a legitimate possibility. So I thought that'd make a good question for the online oracle. Will the central bank start buying Bitcoin by the end of 2021? It is decidedly so. Okay, so the online oracle, our 8-ball economist, trusty sidekick, believes that that will happen by the end of next year. Because as you know, I'm targeting $100,000 US price per Bitcoin by the end of next year. We'll see if that materializes. Anyway, there you have it, folks. Something to think about. Hope you're enjoying the rest of your weekend. Remember to stay healthy out there, pay off debt, and squirrel away some savings. And in the meantime, remember above all else, dumb spero, spero.